Hello, everyone. Welcome back once again to the Cougar Crypto Report. I'm your co-host, Tiana. Today is episode number 5, and joining me, like always, is my fellow co-host, Michael.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm Michael, and we hope you guys have been doing good since the last video.
In the last episode, we put together a list of our 7 most important cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin. We talked about what they are, how they are different from other cryptos, and who they were introduced by. We also talked about where they ranked by market cap. But this is always changing every day, so they might be slightly different now.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about NFTs. Now, what the heck are those, and how can they be used in the future? Now, you may have heard of NFTs before because they have recently been getting a lot of mainstream attention. Today, we're going to be breaking down why they're all of a sudden getting this attention from everyone. First, we'll define what an NFT is, and then we'll get into more stuff like some of their characteristics, what their value is, and why they're getting all the mainstream attention they're getting.
NFTs are defined as non-fungible tokens. This basically means they are digital assets that represent a wide range of unique tangible and intangible items. This could be from collectible sports cards to virtual real estate or even digital sneakers. One of the main benefits of NFTs over physical assets are that fakes cannot be made. Each NFT has distinguishing information that makes it different from any other NFT. And also NFTs are easily verifiable because they can always be traced back to the original issuer.
Unlike most other cryptocurrencies, NFTs cannot be directly exchanged with one another. They're kind of like festival tickets in a way. Tickets have specific information like the purchaser's name, date of event, and the venue. This is why tickets cannot be traded with one another, and NFTs kind of have the same idea.
There are 4 other key characteristics associated with NFTs. The first is that they are non-inoperable. This means that you can't use a card or a character from one game on a completely other game. The second characteristic is that they are non-divisible. NFTs exist only as a whole item. This is different compared to Bitcoin, where a Bitcoin can be divided into smaller units called satoshis.
The third characteristic associated with NFTs is that they're indestructible. All NFTs are stored on the blockchain through smart contracts. This means that they cannot be destroyed, duplicated, or removed. Also, NFTs are immutable, which means people actually have possession of their belongings. This is different from something like iTunes, where you're buying music off the store, where you don't actually own the song, just the license to that song. The fourth characteristic is that NFTs are easily verifiable. Digital artwork can always be traced back to the original creator. This allows pieces to be authenticated without the need for any third-party verification.
Now, why are NFTs important? Well, for one, they have been extremely popular with the crypto community, as well as companies, because of the way they have revolutionized the gaming and collectible space. Artists are able to sell artwork in a digital form directly to anybody in the world, instead of using an auction house or gallery, which means the artists can keep more of their profits. Royalties can also be programmed into the artwork, so if the art is ever sold to other people, the artist still gets a percentage of that sale.
Much of the current NFT space is focused on collectibles like digital artwork, sports cards, or other rarities. One of the most popular and hyped spaces is called NBA Top Shot. This is a place where people can collect non-fungible, tokenized NBA moments in a digital form. Some other NFTs have sold for millions of dollars. For example, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey sold an NFT version of his first tweet for over $2.5 million. The first ever tweet made by Dorsey only said, "Just setting up my Twitter."
Another question you might be asking is, why do NFTs have value? Like in all assets, supply and demand play a key role. People right now are prepared to pay a lot of money for NFTs because of the rarity of them, and because of the high demand behind the NFTs. Some of these NFTs have the potential to make the owners a lot of money. For example, there was a gamer on one of the virtual land platforms who purchased 64 virtual lots, combined them, and sold it for $80,000 just because it was in a good location in the virtual land platform.
When people buy NFTs, they're essentially buying another form of digital art. Just because you own an NFT doesn't mean there will be other versions on the internet. However, NFT enthusiasts say that owning a piece of the blockchain code is a very valuable thing.
Going back to what Michael said, just because somebody owns an NFT doesn't mean there are not other versions on the internet. But just like with other collectibles, like cards or fine art, there is value in having an original piece of work.
So what if you're not interested in buying or creating NFTs? Is it still important to know about? We say yes, because as tens of millions of dollars keep pouring into NFTs, they will soon expand beyond the typical art, music, and videos that make up the majority of the market right now. Investors from the Silicon Valley say the money-making possibilities are endless with NFTs. One startup already has allowed their users to use their NFTs as collateral for loans.
What are the risks associated with NFTs? Well, first and foremost, there's always the concern that the NFT craziness is just a big bubble waiting to burst. If you spend a pretty penny on an NFT and the value and interest suddenly plummets, you could be in for a big loss. However, the biggest supporters say that since there is built-in scarcity, that should keep driving the value up as long as the interest doesn't dwindle.
One of the biggest concerns that can come from NFTs is the environmental impact of them. The computing power needed to operate the underlying blockchain is immense. For example, one artist estimated that generating 6 NFT pieces consumed more electricity than his entire private studio did over the course of 2 years.
Another concern about NFTs is that anybody in the internet could basically copy the same digital file and have it on their computer. NFTs are designed to give somebody something that cannot be copied, and that is ownership of the work. This is why it's like collecting fine art. Anybody can have a replica of this, but only one person can own the original piece of work.
So what's the point? That really depends if you ask an artist or the buyer. From an artist's point of view, the NFT space allows for artists to have a bigger platform to sell their pieces. Also, in the case that one of the pieces of the work continues to balloon in value, an artist can enable a feature in the NFT that allows the artist to collect a percentage of the money every time the NFT is sold or changed hands.
In the point of view of a buyer or a collector, one of the more obvious benefits for buyers is to support the artist that they like financially. NFTs are just like any other speculative asset. A person can buy an NFT and hope the value of it keeps on increasing so they can one day sell it for a profit.
There are several places to buy and bid on NFTs online. First of all, they could only be bought with cryptocurrencies. For example, people buy NFTs using Ethereum as payment. People go to marketplaces like OpenSea, Rarible, Grimes Choice, and Nifty Getaway, among others.
Speaking on the longer term of things, one of the things that can eventually happen to digital art is bit rot. This is whenever an image quality deteriorates, or when a file format can no longer be opened, or when websites go down. Any of these things can be considered bit rot.
As technology as a whole gets more advanced and as cryptocurrencies get more mainstream attention, the NFT space will only continue to grow and gain more value, especially if more and more celebrities and sports teams around the world continue exploring with the new technology for another stream of income.
And there we have it, folks. Today it was a little bit shorter of an episode, but we hope you guys learned a thing or two about NFTs. They are still a relatively new thing, but people are spending crazy amounts of money on them, and the train doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon, especially with more and more people becoming more aware. To recap our episode today, we talked about what exactly an NFT is and how they work differently from other cryptocurrencies. We also talked about how they are similar to other collectibles, with the key difference is that NFTs are in a digital form, and then we finished off with the risks associated with NFTs. Once again, we hope this clears up any questions about NFTs, and we hope this inspires you to go do your own research. Thank you for joining us on the Cougar Crypto Report. I'm your co-host, Tiana.
And I'm your other co-host, Michael. Thank you guys once again for joining us for today's episode. CCR out.